So I finally finished Elden Ring, and now I'm wondering whether or not it was even worth it. Can you dig it? From Software. Okay, let's just get this out of the way right now. Their endings in their Soulsborne games haven't been, let's just say, all that exciting or climactic, and I guess I should have seen this coming because I have played other games. I played through Dark Souls 1 and 2, and I played through Bloodborne, but I have never put as much time into any of their games as I have Elden Ring. As a matter of fact, at the time of recording this, I have 95 hours by the time I finished defeating the final boss in this game. It took me 95 hours to beat this game because I was taking my time, going through the world, fighting most of the dungeons, trying to see all I could, trying to get invested into the lore and into the story. And I did all of that, and you know what I was treated with after my 95-hour adventure? I was given a 3-minute cutscene, and that was it. 3 whopping minutes. Visually, it looked nice, sure, and I guess it was technically a conclusion. But 3 minutes? 3 minutes? I didn't get to see anything else. And by the way, I got the Age of Stars ending, which apparently, because afterwards I looked it up, yeah, this was the best one. Out of the 6 possible endings, I apparently got the best ending, and it was the secret ending, which was mind-boggling because I honestly thought I was just doing the main campaign this whole time. So the fact that I got the best ending and the secret ending, and I still feel this disappointed, man, it just goes to show you that From Software, I really do enjoy your games, but you have got to work on your endgame for your IPs. I mean, let's take Final Fantasy VIII, just for an example, right off the top of my head. When you get to that final boss, when you finish off Ultimacia, and you get the conclusion. You get a conclusion. You know exactly what happens with Squall, and Rinoa, and Laguna, and Rain, and Cypher, and Raijin, and Fujin, and even side characters, and you get to know what happens with the gardens, and the world, and everything is wrapped up, and it is a spectacular ending, and it makes you feel like the 70 plus hours that you spent in Final Fantasy VIII is worthwhile. And that's my biggest issue with Elden Ring right now, is that for anyone that's going into this game and you're going to spend 50, 60, 70, 80, maybe even over 100 hours into the campaign, you deserve more than a 2-minute cutscene, especially for a game that boasts all of this lore and intricacies. So you try to find out who the Greater Will is, and what the 2 fingers are, and what the 3 fingers are, and who all these side characters are. Who is the Dung Eater? Who is Ranni? What's her background? How does she relate to the other demigods? When you put in all of this effort, and then the conclusion itself is a 3-minute cutscene that's very much ambiguous. When you really think about it, you're left only to your own imagination and speculation, and I'm not going to spoil anything about it. It kind of irks me a little bit. And I think the thing that's the most disappointing about this is the first time in any of the Soulsborne games that I've really tried my best to really get into the story and the lore, because I always hear people tell me about how much better it is when you just invest into the lore and you go out of your way to figure the story out. In Elden Ring's case, I did give that a big try, and I even had a notebook on my desk, and I was even jotting down notes so I can make sure I can keep track of certain quests and stuff so I don't forget where I was going and what I was doing. So when I spend all this extra time and effort into knowing it, and at the end of the day, like I said, I know what happens at the end. When I finished Ranni's quest line, I know exactly what's going on. I was just unbelievably disappointed by the outcome, not because it isn't what I expected to happen, but in the way it presented it. I feel like this game deserves better endings, and I did look up a few of the other ones because there is no way in hell I was going to go back through this game and play through all these again to get these endings, because I had the long one. My 3-minute one was the long one. The other ones are like a minute shorter. I'm not even kidding. But we deserve more than that. If we're going to put in this much time and effort into this game, you deserve to give us a better ending. You could have easily given us a lot more information and a lot more details and representation as to what happened in the Age of the Stars. And like I said, I'm not going to even talk about it because I don't want to spoil anything. but there could have been so much more. You could have made that so much better than what you delivered. And I should have expected it, because most of From Software games, especially if they're the Soulsborne games, all of their endings are usually pretty dang underwhelming. But this was Elden Ring. This is the big one. This is the one I spent basically 100 hours into. It should have been bigger, and it should have been better, and I'm just disappointed it wasn't, and it unfortunately left a bad taste in my mouth at the end of this crazy fun adventure. I am Bradley Overrated, out like a trout. Praise be to Yevon, and I'll see you on the next one.